Hello, everyone. This is Phoenix Tremaine, and today I have a Soap Fam special for you. 5 reasons why Nathan is probably not the real Nathan. And honestly, he's probably Peter, but we'll get into that. But first, if you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe, hit that like button, share, and comment. These things are free to do, especially liking. It takes a few seconds. It helps out the channel so much. So please, please, please go ahead and hit that like button for me so that more people can discover this channel. And we have a membership. We get early access to videos such as this one. We talked about this about a week ago on our live, and had lots of great commentary. People going ahead and giving their responses to the subject. So give the membership a try. We'd love to have you. So we're going to start with Ryan PV saying that he did not want to come back to a vanilla role, basically meaning he doesn't want to be Nathan, the good guy, the guy who is like, super cop and, is just, there was really nothing wrong with Nathan. He was just a strong, romantic partner for Maxie who, would put his life on the line and always did the right thing. And that is not a role that Ryan wanted to play anymore. So when the writers were doing the executive producers and head writers were doing an interview, I think it was with Soap Opera Digest, but a lot of other sites picked up the story where they talked about uh, that there was going to be an expansion in like the old Britt Faison family, and that the character was going to be diabolical. At no point in time does Nathan be described as diabolical. But these head writers in a previous article also said that there were too many good characters on General Hospital and explained that's why they made Drew a villain. It's because they needed more villains on the show, for drama. And so I was saying for a long time that that's not Drew. That's not Drew. He's not acting anything like Drew. There's got to be somebody in a mask, like Shiloh or whoever. But as it turns out, the writers are saying they turned Drew evil because they needed more bad guys on the show. They had too many good characters. So why would they bring Nathan back if they're trying to bring more villains on the show? Why would they bring Nathan back if they were going to try to add more good guys? No. So we know that Nathan is not a good guy. So a lot of people who are fixated on the idea that, Nathan, who they fell in love with way back when, I think 7 years ago, that, oh, he's back and then Max is going to come out of coma and they're going to live happily ever after. No, that is not the story they're gearing up for. Now, we also got to talk about Britt because this is not the face of a woman who is going to go talk to her brother who just came back to life. And no, she looks like, she can't believe this is happening, that, her mother's going to be heartbroken. James is going to be heartbroken when they all find out he's not the real Nathan. Because Britt clearly didn't want James to see fake Nathan. I'm sure the man that she has been working with is fake Nathan, and he's supplying her with the medicine she needs to stay healthy, which is why she can't say anything. Also, when talking to Pascal, she spoke as if she was sure that he, because they didn't get put a name on it, they just kept saying he would not want any harm to her, probably because he was a brother, but not the brother that he's betraying now. Peter and Nathan are both her brothers, so they are family to her, which is why she was sure Pascal was not ordered to blow her up. Now, a lot of people have jumped to the conclusion that he's actually phase on, but let's really think about this. Anders Hove, who played Faison, is 69, about to turn 70. I know that people typically only remember characters as they last saw them, but does that look like a 70-year-old in that bed, uh, when he was in a hospital? Just the body type alone, no, that is not phase on. It would make more sense if it was Peter, not phase on, that they were talking about. Because we also know that I'm still calling him fake Nathan. Talked about he felt like he was married to Maxie and that, his heart is with Maxie and he feels like, they're still married. And we know that Peter never actually made it to the vows with Maxie. But Peter being Peter, we know this would be his shortcut to being Maxie's husband, without, her protesting. And when Maxie returns, the fans, Maxie, Kirsten Storms, who plays Maxie, said that when Maxie returns, the fans are going to go crazy over the storyline they're giving her. She said this before we knew fake Nathan was coming to the show. Clearly she was talking about the return of Nathan, um, which is the biggest reason that the new Nathan is probably Peter, because Faison was obsessed with Anna and Peter was obsessed with Maxie. So if this story will focus on fake Nathan and Maxie, it's most likely Peter got plastic surgery to look like Nathan so that he can get Maxie back. Or he's wearing the mask, and they'll rip the mask off and he's Peter underneath. Because I really, from day one, I never believed that Peter was gone. He already was a character where they were like, oh, he's gone when Silas Penn, whatever his name was, had thought that he had got rid of Peter, but Peter was still alive. And so he's already faked a death once. What makes you think he can fake a death twice? You know, what? Look at him. He's just got his eyes closed in the snow. And Anna walked away. Anna walked away. He could have got in the WSB could have came and checked his pulse and saw, if he's still alive, and that because he had all of those secrets, Faison secrets, they probably were holding him captive somewhere. You know, uh, I'm just saying what I think could have happened, but what I'm saying all of that to say is I've seen worse ways people have come back to life on soaps that made absolutely no sense. So there's no reason to believe that this version of Nathan couldn't possibly be Peter, especially when Kirsten Storms returned to the show, which, if you haven't heard the news, she has brain surgery within the next 2 weeks. So that's why Kirsten was saying she could return in November or December or early next year, is because she knew she had health issues that needed to be taken care of. So she's going to have brain surgery. And then, of course, she's got a recovery period. She's in a new city, trying to take care of her kid. So she's got a lot going on. And so that's why they had Maxie in a coma, put Maxie in a coma, because they literally have no idea how long it'll take for Kirsten Storms to recover. But in the meantime, we're going to have fake Nathan wreaking havoc. And I can only hope that by November sweeps, they tip their hat that, yeah, this isn't the real Nathan. We've been getting clues. Like when he hugged Anna, that face he made, yeah, that was Peter. Also when Britt was told by Liesel, is she going to give her brother a hug and is she going to say bye to her brother? He also had this evil look on his face, but just for a few seconds. So we're getting glimpses of this being, someone else other than the real Nathan. I believe the real Nathan passed away a hero, and we now have fake Nathan. There's a lot of people that don't want to believe he's fake Nathan, but honestly and truly believe that he is Peter, and that will be revealed hopefully November sweeps or February sweeps, whichever however long they're going to do it, because you know Generals will drag out a story. But I would also like to add that since it's most likely that the person Pascal, Britt, Sidwell, Marco, Dalton, and Drew are working for, uh, and Drew was making a mess of their plans, it would not surprise me if the person who shot Drew is fake Nathan. This week's promo, well, because Willow was framed by Michael to be the shooter, I really don't think Willow is a suspect anymore. If you watch some other videos, I've always said Willow was my top suspect, and she technically could still be. She could have shot uh, Drew and put the gun back. So she could be the person who shot Drew, and she could have shot Drew, wiped the prints off the gun, and put the gun back in. Since she's been sneaking in and out of Quartermain household, Michael decided to protect his kids by framing Willow, because I don't think Michael did it, but he does want to do whatever it takes to keep Willow out of his kids' lives. And I think framing her was exactly what he wanted to do to keep her away. So my new prime suspect is new Nathan, because this fake Nathan, if he's the boss over all of these characters, Dalton, Britt, everybody, then he could have been the one to pull the trigger because Drew was out of control. And if you do remember, when the bombing, Pascal, Britt, all that was going on, they said that the boss was out of town. So while all of that stuff was happening over there, with Jason have to save her and Joss and Vaughn and all that kind of stuff, this is the same time when Drew was getting shot while the boss was out of town. So it could easily be Nathan is the shooter. But he's now my prime suspect. Willow was now fallen to second place because it was the reverse, where I thought Willow was the shooter, but also it could potentially be Nathan. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section, and I will see you in the next video.